Channel 7 Buffalo.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
CBS presents this program in color.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed.
Dave's not here, because I love meat.
All right.
You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
I have not watched a single minute of the Olympics so far.
I've watched a bit.
Not a single minute. I'm going to see if I can make it the whole way through without watching any of it.
Why? Are you boycotting it for any reason?
I just don't like the Summer Olympics. I like the Winter Olympics because you got the hockey and the bobsled and luge and ski jumping and curling. And I don't know. There's just nothing.
You're not a fan of fencing?
I'll take that back. I did watch a minute or so of fencing yesterday, so I guess I can't say I haven't watched a minute of it. I did see a little bit of that.
The thing that I've loved, actually, I've watched kind of the general things that everybody watches, but this is the first year that rugby's been back, and I've watched a good bit of the rugby, which is great because it's kind of football.
Canadian women won bronze in that.
I didn't realize that rugby was part of it. Now that I know that, I'm going to take a look.
Once again, I cannot stand NBC's coverage because all the important things are tape delayed, and we're in an age now where we all know what's happening, and every other channel except big NBC is not tape delayed. But if something is dedicated to be on regular NBC, it's tape delayed. And even yesterday, I was watching NBCSN, which is always live, and they were interviewing these Americans that won silver in the synchronized diving. Synchronized diving was supposed to air on NBC that night. It had not yet aired here.
They spoiled synchronized diving for you, huh?
Well, yeah, but that's not the point of what the event is. It's the point of, I just can't understand. I understand why. You
got to remember who the Olympics are aimed at. They're not aimed at us as sports fans. They know that we will go and watch it on one of the cable networks if we really want to see it. This is all aimed at women in prime time. That's all it's about. The
stuff that's supposed to be on big NBC, they don't show it on the other networks. The only way to watch, gymnastics was supposed to be tonight, the team finals for the girls.
Yeah, it's on right now.
Right, but it happened earlier in the day, and I got an ESPN notification telling me that we already won the gold medal. So it's like, cool. I guess I don't need to wait till tonight to watch because I already know that we won. So who cares?
Well, you know what they're doing too is they are still programming it like it's '96 when they need to start thinking about it in terms that everyone already knows what's happened, so why are you doing this? Maybe there are people that just don't care that they already know and they want to see how it happened. But to me, if I already know the outcome of a sporting event, I'm not going to watch it. It's just as simple as that.
And I'm sure there's still plenty of people that wait for the prime time to watch it and they just don't know.
Yeah.
But, in an age where so many people are on social media and on, whether it's Facebook or Twitter or any of this, and you have the option, there's no, I still don't see, I understand the business side of it, and that they want to cater it, and they're trying to make the human interest packages and whatever. You can still do those things, but you can also show them live.
I agree.
When live sports are happening here in America, they don't tape delay the NBA finals anymore. They don't for the West Coast, they don't say, well, the game started at 8:00 on the East Coast, but we're going to wait.
Do you remember? Well, you don't remember it because you weren't alive, but I'm sure you've heard of the epic Game 6 that Magic had against the Sixers, and I think it was 80, I want to say, his rookie year.
Yeah.
I watched that on tape delay at 11:30 at night. It wasn't that long ago that they were doing that. Oh, we got boxing on NBCSN right now.
Yeah.
Now, is this live probably?
This is, no, it's probably slightly delayed because there's no live at the top of the screen right now.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing is, I don't know. I don't know what's live and what's not anymore.
Wow, these are two little.
DirecTV has this Olympic mix channel where they're showing everything all at once.
Oh, what channel is that? I'll have to put it on.
205.
Okay.
And right now there's soccer, there's a little tennis, a little basketball.
Oh, look at that, the NBC Olympics TV experience. How about that?
Yeah.
I have to say, this whole NBC thing pales in comparison to the majesty of TSN and CBC.
Yeah, right. You're watching the American coverage now. You don't get. I mean, in Canada, do they do the same thing where they like curate a primetime program and delay?
They do, yeah. It's the same thing. They're more upfront about it. I guess is the best way to say it. They're still going to chase that primetime slot, but at the same time, it's sort of like they have this sort of running coverage, right, where it's like, oh, and breaking news, like Canada won silver or bronze in this event. That'll be on later tonight.
The thing, too, that bothers me with the primetime thing that NBC does, because of how the time zones are right now, some of the things that they do get to show are live because they're happening at night in Rio, which is an hour ahead of the East Coast, which is great. But when it comes on here, in the broadcast, the voiceover guy says, and coming up later, live coverage. It's like, no, it's not. Yeah. It was live 3 hours ago. They could at least change the voiceovers and not have them say live.
Interesting thing, you mentioned synchronized diving. I actually watched that event, and no joke, one of the guys on the American team that won silver, his name is Steele Johnson.
Right. Yeah.
That is his legitimate real name.
Yep. Steele, Steele.
Johnson. That's beautiful.
Well, yeah, Steele Johnson, real name.
I don't know what his parents were thinking, but okay.
But I mean, with the Olympics in Brazil, it's been fun to see whenever there's a Brazilian team. You think it's just the soccer players that go by one name? No. If you're anything in any of these sports, you just have one name.
Wasn't there their big basketball star a few years back just named Oscar?
Oscar, there's Nene.
Yeah, oh yeah. He plays in the NBA, right? Nene?
Yeah, he's on the team in Brazil right now too.
I haven't seen any of the men's basketball yet.
Yeah,
obviously.
Brazil beat Spain today in basketball. Spain's pretty damn good with the Gasols and such.
Yeah, these two boxing guys, man, they're just beating the hell out of each other here, USA and Japan. It's like they're reenacting World War II.
I found the opening ceremonies to be really lackluster.
Yeah, well, they were purposefully cutting down on costs, and they were trying to be environmentally friendly for it.
Who lit the torch?
It was supposed to be Pele.
I was going to ask if it was Pele.
He wasn't well enough to do it, so they got this Brazilian marathoner that was like attacked during a marathon in Greece. I want to say during the Athens Olympics. I don't know. I didn't know the guy, but they were supposed to have Pele, but didn't.
Oh, that's too bad.
But I agree with you too that like the Summer Olympics, they're
not as good.
I enjoy them, but not to the same effect that I do the winter. And it's not just because of the hockey, although the hockey obviously helps.
To me, it's like the sports and the Winter Olympics, even if you don't know a thing about them, are just more interesting right out of the gate than the summer stuff is. Like, I'll be honest, I dig the uneven parallel bars and gymnastics. I like to watch that. But you don't get anything like curling. I mean, swimming is just a colossal snooze fest to me. It looks like I was watching. I said I didn't watch a minute of it, and I watched the guy set a world record the other day. But it looked like the poor bastard was going to drown by the time he got to the end of it. I mean, it just wears me out watching it.
I find the relays to be exciting when guys are jumping in and out of the pool and stuff.
Maybe like the 440 relay or those are kind of cool, the hurdles. But I mean, for the most part, the sports just aren't as interesting.
Also, another fun fact about the opening ceremony, it is traditional for heads of state to attend the opening ceremony. The president of Brazil was not there because she is currently being impeached and indicted for fraud.
Nice.
So good job, Brazil.
So the acting president was there, and I guess he's like some 75-year-old dude that also is probably corrupt.
Yeah.
And has like a 30-year-old wife that has his name tattooed on the back of her neck.
Now that dude should be called Steele Johnson. We'd heard all these horror stories about the facilities and all that. Has it been as bad as people thought it was going to be?
I mean, there was some sailing and rowing going on the other day, and I didn't see any poop in the water, so I have to assume. But it's all there, and you follow reports from some of the writers and stuff that are down there, and it's not great. And there's protests being outside some of the buildings.
There's protests all over the place in Brazil.
Yeah, and one of the things that I've noticed and that they made a story of, at least over the weekend, a lot of these arenas are like half full.
Yeah, I'm looking at the soccer arena, and there's like no one there.
Yeah. Well, soccer's weird, too, because they play it all around the country. It's not just in Rio.
Yeah. Well, see, now the tennis match has got a pretty good crowd, it looks like.
It looks like the guy that's playing right now is a Brazilian, and that usually gets more
right,
people.
yeah. The boxing arena looks pretty empty.
Yeah, whenever there's Brazilians, or the things that I've noticed that are definitely full are the beach volleyball and the indoor volleyball, which is a big thing there. And then, of course, just anywhere that there's a Brazilian.
Hey, if you go to a beach volleyball game, you just might see body parts of political dissidents wash up on shore.
Another reason to go.
It's so funny. Like they show the outside of this thing, and they just kind of built this prop-up stadium literally on the sand of Copacabana Beach. And so the sand is there from the play on, but it's just this stadium on, like, literally on the beach. It's not on the road. It's on the sand. It's like, oh.
I love how you could have, like, I just love how NBC's coverage, like, the opening ceremonies, they were like, they're going over, it's like, oh, the wonders of Brazil. And it's like, but they tried to call out the fact that there's crushing poverty.
The thing that's always funny with NBC's coverage, too, was the Parade of Nations when they come out. And the way they describe some of these countries, it's just like, you know, this country is being currently ruled by a dictator. This one is currently, you know, one of those African countries where it's like, oh, there's a warlord currently.
This country is currently being run by a brutal dictator.
What was it you said about their the U.S.'s outfits, Zach? I thought it was funny. I can't remember what it was, though.
They look like Kennedys on a yacht.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Americans look like Kennedys on a yacht. The white, is it red pants or white khakis?
It's white pants, and then you've got the blue blazer.
The blue blazer with the giant Ralph Lauren polo, the gold buttons on the sleeves. The shirt is red, white, and blue with these striped shirts. They're like sailor shirts. And they're all wearing boat shoes, too.
Let us flaunt our first worldness in your face, Brazil. Take that.
Yeah,
what do you think?
It's like, yeah, that's the way that I really want the world to look at our country, is a bunch of old money East Coasters. Yeah, thanks. Or your Tonga and your flag bearer takes off his shirt, wears a grass skirt, and oils himself up to wave the flag.
Oh, that's cool. Come on, that's cool.
What bugged me about the Ralph Lauren thing is, like, the polo logo was bigger than the American flag.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
At least with the Winter Olympics, it's just like, here's some winter jackets. Go have fun.
Yeah, because we've done the Kennedys thing, it seems like, for quite a few Olympics now. That's been the look.
Yeah, I think the last three, that's definitely – because I think that was when Ralph Lauren became, like, the official supplier of the Olympic wear. And so that's for those. And Nike does everything else, of course, but – I don't know, man. I think part of it is like the controversy surrounding these Olympics, plus the lack of enthusiasm for the Summer Olympics as a whole. I care a little bit less about these ones than I did with London, and you know it would be harder to watch things on time in London, but I still watched a hell of a lot more 4 years ago than I am right now.
The sports aren't as interesting. You got basketball, which is cool. But
I do admit I want one of those Canada opening ceremony jackets.
Weren't they just they look like Mountie jackets, right?
It was like a red sports jacket, and then on the back was a giant white maple leaf, and it just said Canada above it.
Cool. Oh, looks like the USA guy beat the Japanese guy in the boxing match.
Oh, as he should.
Right.
Because America.
I don't know. That little Japanese dude was putting an ass whooping on him there for a while. Yeah, it looked like a Rocky fight for a few minutes where they were just landing punches left and right. I'm surprised they both walked away from it.
Yeah, we're leading the medal count, of course, which is good.
Yeah.
We being the United States of America.
Yeah, but China's got more gold.
For now.
It's early.
For now.
But I don't know. The other problem is normally I like the team sports, but our basketball team is supposed to destroy everybody, and they have so far. Our women's soccer team's supposed to continue to win, and they tied Colombia today on a kind of a fluke thing, but they still look like the favorites. And
our women's soccer is really good, right?
Hey, yeah. Team Canada women's soccer beat Germany, so
yeah, no, Team Canada is the second favorite in this thing because I mean in London they played the gold medal match, which was one of the better soccer games in the last 10 years or so, but. And then, like tennis, I don't care enough about tennis regularly, and then to have it just be like the regular people playing, it's the same way I feel about golf.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, so the PGA Tour just has an extra event in Brazil this year. That's all that is.
Who was it? Was it Jordan Spieth was the guy that got in a little bit of trouble because he said that I'm not going to play golf in the Olympics, and B, I'm going to watch sports that actually matter. Was it him that said that, or was it?
Well, I know he didn't go,
but he said something along the lines of basically, I'm not going. And they said, well, what are you going to do? And he said, I'll watch the Olympics. They said, what are you going to watch? He goes, I'll watch sports that actually matter, and I mean not golf, which I suppose he has a point.
Yeah,
it didn't sit well with a lot of the golfers. The other guys in the Blazers were pretty unhappy about that.
Who's number 16 in the medal count?
Number 16?
Who?
North Korea.
North Korea?
With 2 silver medals.
They're not number 1?
Well, they are in North Korea.
The media is reporting that they're number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
They've won every gold medal except for twice where they had silver, and they shot both of those competitors, so that was taken care of quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, they have those. This is the first year that there's normally there's like an independent Olympic team with some people that for whatever reason can't qualify for their country or their country doesn't matter or something. But there's also a team of refugees that are participating this year.
I'm sorry. That shouldn't be funny to me, but it is.
There's this girl from Syria that when she was escaping the country, their boat broke or something. She got in the water and pushed the boat to shore.
Well, they should give her a medal just for that, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Americans had their first ever Muslim American Olympian. She competed with a hijab in fencing.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw a commercial with her.
Yeah.
Is she doing a commercial right now?
I think so.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, the fencing thing was cool. It looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. The little part I caught of it.
Yeah,
wasn't it all lit up and stuff? And it looked wild. It looked like something out of Battlestar Galactica, like from the Cylon base ship.
I guess they've updated the technology in fencing too. They have these electronic vests. It's kind of like laser tag in a way.
Yeah.
Where you have like the electronic vest, and when there's enough pressure, there's like a certain amount of pressure that has to be put on by the tip of the sword of the other competitor, and then it lights up everything to let you know who scored.
All
first.
I'm saying is, what they need to do for fencing, they need to replace the foils with some of those high-end Force FX lightsabers.
There you go. How awesome would that be?
Play some Duel of the Fates, in the background.
Uh-huh.
Da 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 da.
If they did that, I'm tuning in every night. I'm there every night.
Take the safety measures off. Take the safety tips off. Take off your vest and your armor, and just have a good old bloody sword fight.
You know what? If you want the gold medal bad enough, you got to be willing to kill some people.
Just a flesh wound. Keep fighting.
Oh, also, an interesting story out of these Olympics. The Brazilian soccer team apparently sucks ass.
Their 2 opening games were against 2 of the worst countries in soccer teams, at least in the Olympics. Egypt and Iraq, and they both played to 0-0 draws.
The Brazilian national team couldn't score against Iraq, a country who's halfway overrun with ISIS.
Yeah.
What is it with Brazil's soccer team shitting the bed when these high-profile soccer tournaments are actually in Brazil? I mean, we saw what happened in the World Cup when the Germans just took them out behind the woodshed. 7-1
in the semifinals. Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah. And it looked like it was going to be a shutout, for the longest time. Like that one was garbage time one.
Man, when you give up 7 goals in a World Cup match, I mean, you're bad. I don't care who you are. That's just terrible.
Soil too.
Yeah.
And now they can't even score against Iraq. It seems that, Brazil, they can't handle the hometown pressure.
Yeah, because it seems to me that we could get, 10 or 12 guys and play a competitive soccer game against Iraq.
I'm pretty sure the Columbus Crew could score at least a goal against Iraq.
But while we're still in the middle of these Olympics, they approved new sports to be added for the 2020 games in Tokyo. Proud to announce the return of baseball and softball to Tokyo. It was taken out after Beijing in 2008. They didn't play it in London. They obviously lobbied pretty hard to get it back in there, and they'll be able to host it pretty well. So baseball and softball returning.
Yeah, with Japan, makes sense.
And you know what? I love those smaller baseball stadiums in Japan.
Yeah.
The Japanese baseball stadiums are cool.
Beyond baseball and softball, they're adding in surfing for the very first time. They're also adding in skateboarding.
Jesus Christ! That sounds like something that should have probably happened in the '90s, and then everyone would have been embarrassed by it.
Well, it's like when they finally added snowboarding in 1998. It was like, well, yeah, you're catching up with the times, sure. And now,
at least 1998 was still snowboarding was still somewhat relevant. Like, trying to cash in on the Tony Hawk trend in 2016 is just sad.
A sport that originated in Japan will make its Olympic debut. Karate.
Yeah.
Will make it into the games. And the last one, rock climbing.
Okay, I got to ask, how do you judge a rock climbing competition? Is it who gets to the top the fastest?
Yeah, there's a couple different disciplines they have here.
Okay.
The first one is called lead climbing, where competitors start at the bottom of the course and must climb within a set time frame and only on one attempt. Speed climbing involves sometimes an easier course where athletes focus on completing it as fast as possible. And then the last discipline is called bouldering, which involves no ropes and can be attempted several times as the courses are shorter and more difficult within a certain amount of time.
See, I was hoping that bouldering would involve, like, you have to climb the mountain as people throw boulders at you.
I had an Indiana Jones thing going through my head. Right, so would I.
I mean, tug-of-war used to be an Olympic sport.
Yeah, I know.
Polo was an Olympic sport at one time.
I'm all for bringing polo back in.
Some of these horse events are garbage.
Do they still have the equestrian shit going on? Is that still happening?
They still have the ones where they jump over the things.
The steeplechase? Is that what it's called, the steeplechase?
I don't know what that one's called. And then they still have the dressage, where they basically make the horses dance.
Hey, you can't take that out. Canada is really good at that. Surprisingly, we're surprisingly good at horse-related events. I think it's Alberta that does it for us.
That's a Commonwealth thing. Because you would think that Britain would win the dressage every time.
Well, Britain and then like all the other countries where we learned how to do fancy horse shit from them.
Well, I don't even. You think like Montana or Wyoming would be good at that, and that would make the U.S.
No, they don't.
You're right. They don't dance on horses out there.
Those arrogant Yankees don't know the fine art of horse dancing.
Yeah, there's probably a good reason for that.
So, Curt Schilling going to run for president if Hillary is elected in November.
I was going to say there's no way. After what's happened...
Okay. Donald Trump is a major party's candidate. Yep. Can anyone honestly say there's no way this is going to happen?
No, I wouldn't even be a bit surprised if he got the nomination at this point.
Curt Schilling is like everyone's racist uncle. Mm-hmm. You go on Facebook and it's like, oh, Uncle Curt posted that. Oh, I'm going to have to apologize to a bunch of people for that.
Yeah.
In more positive baseball-related news, my Blue Jays are back in the hunt after a sluggish start, so woo!
Ichiro got his 3,000th hit, which I think is really cool.
I think you put it on your Facebook page the other day, Greg, but it's fascinating to imagine. We'll never know, but it's always fascinating to imagine what Ichiro's totals would be had he started his career over here.
Someone has already, there's already that joke going that if you add in his Japanese totals, he's beaten Pete Rose's record.
You can convince some people to believe that, but the majority of baseball people won't.
Had he played his entire career over here, I think he obliterates Rose's record. 3,000 hits from age 27 on. Only one other guy ever did that. That was Pete Rose, and Pete played till he was like 48. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, when Pete Rose was chasing Ty Cobb's record, probably the last 3 or 4 years that he played, he was just there clearly just to chase that record. He was not productive. He wasn't very good. He was there to just hit singles try to get 100 singles a year to break that record. That was it.
Well, that thing that you just said about Pete Rose makes me wonder about Ichiro. Do you think that he's only been playing these last couple of years just to get to the American 3,000?
Maybe.
Or to beat Pete Rose?
Maybe, but he's not as brazen about it as Pete Rose was, at least.
Right, but I mean, it is kind of sad to see Ichiro just hanging on with the friggin' Miami Marlins.
Yeah, Marlins aren't bad. They're in the playoff hunt this year.
Yeah, they're in the playoff hunt, but this would have been. It also seemed like when this happened, it was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, none of that stuff seems to have any of the impact it used to. I think it's partially because baseball's not as popular. I
think if he had still been a Mariner, it would have made some sort of...
Yeah, it would. It definitely would have. It's one of those cases, like Ichiro on the Miami Marlins. It's like Emmitt Smith on the Arizona Cardinals, right? Or Johnny Unitas on the San Diego Chargers. It just looks wrong.
didn't Jerry Rice set some sort of record while he was with the Seahawks?
Either
he
that
did.
or the Raiders. Yeah, one of those two.
Actually, it was the Seahawks, and nobody cared.
Yeah,
right.
See, I think too, with Pete Rose, if he had broken that record as a member of the Phillies or the Expos, who he played for before he went back to Cincinnati, I don't think it has the same impact that he did when he did it with the Reds. The thing to me is that one other person has gotten 3,000 hits after their age 27 forward, him and Pete Rose. So that's pretty impressive to me. I don't know if you ever got to see him play in person, but man, oh man, when he was in his prime, oh my God, he was amazing to watch.
Ichiro?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, obviously having him in the division for so many years, not only was he just an expert hitter, and his running out of the box to get to first base, he never threw him out at first. And even so, he was a great fielder too. Yeah. He was pretty damn good in the field. You kind of underestimate. It's it's some tiny Japanese dude, but he'd throw you out at second base every chance he got.
Oh man, he had a rocket for an arm. We went and saw him play against the Indians his first year, and I have never seen anyone out of the box down to first as fast as that guy did it. It was amazing.
I mean, we always made fun of him because he has kind of that the I gotta pee batting stance.
Yeah.
And he's kind of, every time he swings, he's running out of the box. And it's stay in the box and hit your ball, buddy. But, it worked pretty well for him. He's one of the all-time greats, for sure. He's going to be a Hall of Famer over here, too.
Definitely, yeah, definitely.
Oh, if he's not a first-ballot Hall of Famer, then something's terribly wrong.
Well, though, but over the years, the Hall of Fame, I mean, Hank Aaron wasn't a unanimous choice, which to me, I still want to meet the guy that didn't vote for Hank Aaron.
Griffey Jr. got the highest total, and 2 people didn't think to vote for Ken Griffey Jr.
Yeah.
How do you not vote for Ken Griffey? God damn it.
That's my point. Hank Aaron, Ken Griffey Jr., there are guys that you just look at
Babe
and go,
Ruth was unanimous, so we can't vote anybody else in. It's you're stupid.
There used to be this guy on that show, The Sports Reporters. I don't know if he's still on anymore. I don't watch anymore. His name was Bill Conlon. I think he wrote for the Philadelphia, what's their paper, The Inquirer, I believe. Inquirer. And he was one of the guys who's I don't vote for anybody on their first year of eligibility. I don't even understand the logic behind that.
This whole thing, I don't know. It's just stupid. Oh, Babe Ruth wasn't unanimous, so no one else can be unanimous. Oh, fuck off.
The other things, this is the week of the retirement in Major League Baseball. You had Mark Teixeira kick things off last week in the middle of the week. But
I didn't know he was still playing, I got to be honest.
Yeah, so he had a tearful press conference where this is all he ever wanted to do. And
well, he got to do it. He got to do it very well for a while. What's his problem?
I don't know. He doesn't want to stop.
Well, first off, okay, if you don't want to quit, play enough so people like me know you're still in the league.
Well, okay, you don't want to stop, but there's this thing called time, and it takes its toll on everyone.
Yeah, because if it wasn't for that, I'd still be playing in some level. But who? Okay, so we had Teixeira. Who else?
Well, today he's not technically retiring because he still wants to make his money, but he's going to retire. The Rangers are going to declare Prince Fielder physically unable to play or whatever. The original report is that he was going to flat out retire, but I guess he wanted his $100 million that he was going to make for the rest of the year. So he's going to retire at the end of the year once they're done paying him. But Prince Fielder is going to leave, which it seems kind of early for Prince Fielder to be retiring.
Yeah,
I thought he had some sort of injury that pretty much made it.
He had surgery over the off season. I guess.
I thought it was his health, basically. He didn't really have a choice in the matter. He hasn't been around that long, has he? I mean, 10 years maybe? Something like that?
Yeah. And then, of course, the big one. On Friday, it was announced that Alex Rodriguez the Yankees finally found a way to push him out the door.
It took him 3 fucking years, but they did it.
You misspoke, Zach. The Yahees.
All thanks to the Yahees for all they've done for Alex Rodriguez. But they're going to release him. I believe it's this Friday, or was it last Friday? Did it already happen? And he's going to stay on as an advisor for the team.
Well, what's he going to advise them about?
I don't know.
How to get around those drug tests.
Is because if you watch Fox's coverage of the playoffs last year, he was actually pretty damn good on TV, despite him being Alex Rodriguez. Yeah, he was actually a very good studio analyst, I thought, and so have a lot of people commented on it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him back on their playoff coverage this year, but I think that's where his future lies.
People will get past the fact that he's A-Rod at some point.
Now, will the Yankees give him a retirement tour?
No.
No, because he's retired. He's not playing anymore. It's kind of surprising the moves the Yankees have made over the last couple weeks in terms of all the guys traded away, and now basically forcing Teixeira and A-Rod out. So they're doing something the Yankees have never done in our lifetimes, or at least Mike's and I's lifetime, a full-on rebuild.
Yeah,
the Yankees might just suck.
Exactly. It's kind of refreshing. It's kind of what I want to see happen to the Red Wings.
Just bite the bullet and say, you know what, we're not going to win any titles, no reason to hang on anymore, and just bite the bullet and go away.
The last time they did this, I want to say, was in the maybe mid to late 80s, was the last time they just went into a full, screw it, we've got to rebuild.
But you know what? I mean, obviously I'm right there with Zach, where it's just like, you know what? Fuck you, Yankees. Go the fuck away. But on the other hand, if I take emotion out of it, from a purely baseball standpoint, it's not a bad idea. I mean,
they've got nobody
stop stringing it along eventually.
A lot of pretty big deals made at the trade deadline, and we didn't talk about it last week, but a couple teams got a lot better, I think.
Yeah, Chapman Cubs is probably a good move.
Yeah. The Indians picked up that. Well, speaking of the Yankees, they picked up that guy Milt. Yeah, that's a really good left-handed reliever.
I can't believe the Indians are in first place right now. Where did they come from?
Pitching staff, man. That thing, they're like lights out. It's unbelievable.
Let's do I don't want to say a full-on prediction thing, but let's just ask ourselves, how far do the Chicago Cubs push this?
I'm not going to say they will win it all, but they are certainly capable of winning it all this year.
They have what it takes.
Yeah. That is a good baseball team.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to, especially with the Cubs, you don't want to say they're for sure going to win it because they haven't, and they won't until they do. And it's just, I don't think you can like lead pipe lock it or anything like that.
This has been the year. I mean, Cleveland won a championship this year. The Sharks finally broke through and made the finals this year. We've seen a lot of things happen, so maybe this is the year the Cubs finally do it. I won't predict it because I don't want to be blamed for it when it doesn't happen. But they are certainly capable of it. I will say that. They're a really, really good ball club. What do you make of Washington? I mean, they do this and they get in the playoffs and they just, I don't know. But
as long as they don't have to play the Cardinals, they'll probably be okay.
And then you got the Giants. It's an even year. They're good again.
They're good, but if you follow the MLB thread on the boards or you ask any Giants fan, they're in free fall. They can't do anything. They're terrible.
Okay. Why is that?
Because they had a 6-game lead in the division, and now it's down to 1, and they've struggled coming out of the All-Star break, and this team's breaking down. And
they're still what? Let's see, what is that? They are 16 games over 500?
Yeah,
I think they're going to be okay. And the Dodgers aren't terrible.
They're going to make the playoffs. Like the Giants will be fine. You can put down your pitchforks.
I don't go to the MLB thread much anymore. I try, and then I get in there, and somebody aggravates me, and I'm like, it's just not worth it. I'm going to leave.
There are a few certain posters who I will refrain from naming who just make the MLB thread completely unreadable for me.
I don't know if we agree on the same people, but we probably do. And, yeah, it's just hard for me to go to it. But the Cubs, I think, are probably the team to beat, or the Giants. I'm not sold on Washington yet.
I know I need to hate Washington because they're the reason the Expos aren't around anymore, but I really want to see the Nationals do well.
I do too. I wouldn't mind it at all. I think it would be great. Mm-hmm. I agree. I like them. They're not one of my quote unquote favorite teams, but I do like them. I think they're all right. They don't bother me. Mm-hmm. But it would be so great to see. I mean, could you imagine we live in a world where the Cubs and a Cleveland championship happen in the same year?
Well, I mean, at that point, you might as well just pencil Trump in for the presidency because the world's obviously ending.
Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's Tabs.
Zach's Tabs! Old Tom Hockey.
A little inside joke there. Go ahead, Zach.
Because we took 2 weeks off, we missed one of the best Jersey-related sports stories in a long, long time.
Oh, yes.
Chris Sale of the White Sox didn't like the White Sox throwback uniforms they were going to be wearing. It was the black ones with these big collars, and he thought that they were uncomfortable, and he didn't want to wear them. Problem was, it was giveaway night for that jersey, so they had to wear them. Mm-hmm. So Chris Sale didn't want to wear them. So he took a giant pair of scissors, cut up all the jerseys, and said, guess we can't wear these tonight, huh? And then he got suspended for 5 days. So
that is that's amazing. I wish You know what league needs more of this? The NBA.
Another league that could, another sport that could use this is college football. If we had any taste.
You need some, highly touted recruit in Oregon who they can't touch because he's going to be the future of the program to just go in one night and cut up every gray and black uniform. I guess we have to wear something with green.
With Sale, I understand the sentiment. I agree with them. Those are awful jerseys. But that was a pretty psycho move, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. That was pretty. I think you went a little too far with that.
That I think is right out of the Ray Emery playbook.
Well, Chris Sale's also the guy that got super mad when the White Sox wouldn't let Adam LaRoche's kid hang out in the locker room.
Yeah,
which was just a weird situation.
And this was all for the trade deadline. And Chris Sale is a guy that was very available and could be very useful.
But
you didn't want that guy.
I was just going to ask, do you think that it was a matter, because I heard that he didn't want to get traded, but I also wonder if the scissors with the jerseys thing plus the LaRoche thing, people were like, you know what? He's a good pitcher and all, but any contending team, I don't know if I want to bring a guy like that into my clubhouse.
Especially a game that is so dependent on team chemistry,
right?
Like baseball. You don't want a crazy person.
No, because like you said, I mean, obviously on the field it's not that important, but in the clubhouse and stuff, you got to have everything's got to be just the right mix. And I'm not bringing a guy in that will cut the shit out of a bunch of jerseys because he doesn't want to wear them. As much as I might agree with him on it, that's not the way you handle it.
Yeah, they still wore throwbacks that night, just different throwbacks.
They wore the '83 throwbacks, right? With the red, yeah.
The White Sox have a really interesting and varied uniform history and colors.
Yeah,
they're kind of strange.
Which is strange because, as far as I've known them, they've just been the black and white team.
That's the best. That's their best look. I think their current look is the best one they've ever had. I think.
Yeah, well, I mean,
they've had some really, like Zach said, it's been a varied history, and a lot more often than not, it didn't work very well. Although the red, white pinstripes are pretty good. Yeah, go ahead. What?
Yeah, it's called the White Sox. You kind of get free range to do whatever you want.
So long as you have white socks, you're pretty much good.
But they don't have white socks. They've never had white socks. They've either been blue or black or red or whatever. And I don't know. Silly, but that was Chris Sale.
I actually, and this is going to be a shock. I do obviously like the current White Sox look, but if I had to gun to my head favorite White Sox uniform, it's actually probably the beach towel look.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think those are terrible. I think that I like the current look better.
Oh no, the current looks absolutely top notch. I'm just saying, I just got a special place in my heart for that one.
I kind of you don't see it really much anymore, but they used to wear this red and white pinstripe get-up that wasn't half bad either.
Right. Yeah. They wore those throwbacks earlier this year, last year.
Yeah, I don't remember. I think they were maybe a Sunday uniform for a couple years, or maybe for a season. I don't remember.
Yeah. It's basically a red version of their current jerseys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little minor differences, but for the most part, yeah.
That's weird too. Just kind of strange. We'll stay in baseball, and we talked about Ichiro getting his 3,000th hit earlier. Mm-hmm. There was a SportsCenter anchor, which I got to say I've never heard of this guy before. I guess I haven't seen his editions of SportsCenter. But former WWE commentator and current SportsCenter anchor Todd Grisham.
Oh, yeah, Todd Grisham. I know who he is.
I actually knew who he was as a SportsCenter anchor, too, believe it or not. I never watched SportsCenter.
Huh. Well, he decided to go to Twitter after Ichiro just got his 3,000th hit, and he penned this gem. As impressive as Ichiro's 3,000 hits are, his unwillingness to learn English after 15 years in America amazes me more.
No story ever ends well if it begins, he took to Twitter.
He got a reply from somebody that said, "You're so fucking stupid." He knows English.
He speaks great English.
Yeah. He uses a translator, so there's no confusion as to what he says.
Right. I mean, I won't say that he speaks perfect English, but he is well past being able to have a conversation in English. He can speak it. He just chooses not to.
Grisham then responded to this guy saying, "Why would there be confusion if he spoke English, idiot?"
This conversation is just one redneck away from he should speak American.
Yeah, I think it's already there.
Yeah, he Grisham later apologized for it, and I read through his his explanations and whatever. He still started out with him saying, like, this dumb Jap should speak American. It's basically what he started out saying.
And you know what? I'm willing to bet that Ichiro probably speaks better English than Grisham does. He just doesn't. But his reasoning for it I think is good. He's probably not great with the idioms and all that. So he lets it go through a translator. So there's never any. Who was the guy that? It was the player just a while back that got a little pissed off because a reporter just didn't clean up his. We even had a thread on the boards about it.
It was Draymond Green.
Yeah, no, it was somebody else. It was a guy, a Latin player. But anyway, the reporter didn't clean up his quotes, and he got mad about it. But anyway, I was watching it because it made me think about it when I read that today, and I thought, I know I've seen Ichiro speak English, so I looked it up on YouTube. I said, Ichiro speaking English. And there's a Bob Costas interview that he did where Bob Costas says, what's the funniest something or the American thing you've ever heard? And Ichiro said, and almost like non-accent in English, in Kansas City, it's hotter than two rats fucking in a wool sock, which cracked everybody up. But it was like, it was like a dude that doesn't speak English can't come up with that. And but it was just an idiotic thing for that guy to say.
I guess Ichiro also speaks a little Spanish on the field, according to his teammates too.
Yeah, my understanding.
Well, he's in Miami. He pretty much, I think he has to.
But my understanding is he speaks English in the clubhouse and on the field. He just doesn't do it in interviews. So what?
Which I can understand that being a little frustrating because you just want to talk to the guy, but English isn't his first language, and he wants his ideas to be portrayed exactly how he means them, which is fine, sure. Next up, we're gonna go to our old friend, the National Football League. I use that impression for one more year, sadly.
Oh, you keep that around. That's timeless, man.
That's never going to die.
Yeah.
So the Hall of Fame ceremony, we'll just say that part. The Hall of Fame ceremony took place over the weekend. First off, it was the last ESPN broadcast for Tom Jackson, who, strangely, before the season, decided after 29 years of working at the company and only one more year with his only partner on the desk, Chris Berman, he decided he wasn't going to do out this last season as there's a brand new Monday night Sunday countdown desk, and he didn't want to deal with kind of all the new moving parts. So he just said, "I'll be done now."
He didn't want to deal with that new desk. He was used to the old desk. Damn it.
Well, and not the desk.
I think there was a lot more behind this than we're hearing about. Yeah.
The new ESPN panel, by the way, is Randy Moss, Matt Hasselbeck, and Rod Woodson is the new panel there. Tom Jackson leaving, and of course Berman being the main anchor still.
Tom Jackson I always liked, but his whole – I'm still pissed off about his whole assassination of Jay Cutler, yeah.
That was like 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. But it was just such a bitch-ass move.
Yeah. Another one where I'm going to blame the producers more than but then again, though, he had to go with it, so I can't really blame the producers for that. That was a bitch move. You're right. But I'm surprised he left. I thought, him and Berman one more year, why not? But,
right. I figured that he was totally going to just do the one last ride with it.
I'll tell you what, when they were good.
I think the fact that it was a new physical desk pissed him off, and he was used to that old desk. And you know what? He's not going to learn a whole new desk.
But yeah, look, Ditka's gone from that show. Ray Lewis.
Well, he was only there for a couple of years, but
I know. But who can I make fun of now?
Chris Carter.
Chris Carter left. It's been kind of a rotating door there recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the guy that you're going to make fun of. Well, here's the thing, though. I think all these guys are good. Randy Moss was good in his short time at Fox. I enjoyed him. Matt Hasselbeck is in the little bit that I saw him the other day, and even in his career, he's always seemed like a well-spoken type of guy.
We're going to get the ball. We're going to score.
Well, how'd that work out for you, asshole?
Well, the best part was they had some time to fill that Sunday, so they went over that a couple times. But, we'll get to the Sunday part in a second. As for the Hall of Fame itself, the inductees were all in pretty good class, actually. Marvin Harrison, Tony Dungy, Kevin Green.
I don't agree
Orlando
with Kevin
Pace.
Green. I think he's borderline at best.
Doesn't he have the third most sacks all time?
I don't care.
Okay. Orlando Pace.
I think I'm surprised it took him that long to get in, but I don't know how long he's been retired.
Eddie DiBartolo Jr., the owner of the 49ers in the dynasty years.
Yeah.
Kenny Stabler, probably, too late. Probably should have.
I don't. I love Ken Stabler, but I don't know that he's a Hall of Famer.
Oh.
I don't. All right. Okay.
And a lineman from like the 40s and 50s, Dick Stanfel.
I've actually heard of him, believe it or not. I don't know who he played for or anything, but I've heard the name.
And of course, the highlights: the 37-minute-long speech of Brett Favre.
He spoke for 37 minutes.
37 minutes.
What the hell did he talk about?
Brett Favre.
Okay.
I only got to see bits of it because I wanted to see Marvin Harrison and Tony Dungy because obviously,
right,
as a Colts fan, I that was big. Peyton was there to cheer him on, which was nice.
See, I think Marvin Harrison should have been in sooner too. But then, was this your first year of eligibility?
No, I think this was like his third or fourth.
To me, that guy's a no-brainer first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah. But some of the speeches were all kind of generic as to what they were. Brett Favre went for 37 minutes talking about whatever. He cried a little bit because he was talking about his dad and whatever. But the thing that drew just a little bit of controversy was Orlando Pace, because he played for the Rams, but his days with the Rams were spent as a St. Louis Ram.
Yep.
So in his speech, towards the end of it, he said, he was thanking the fans of St. Louis, saying, no one can ever take away our championship that we won there away from you. He's just giving a little shout out to the people that rooted him on while he was there. On the NFL's YouTube channel, they upload all the speeches, and they uploaded all of them in their entireties, except for Orlando Pace's, where they cut it off right before he went to go thank the St. Louis community for cheering him on.
No, shit. Are you serious?
Yes.
Wow, that is some petty shit right there. Are we supposed to forget that the Rams were? I mean, it's not even been a year.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just some petty bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a little petty because I watched the speech too, and I was kind of waiting for him to say something to the city of St. Louis, and I was like, okay, well that's good. I mean, that's where you played the majority of your years. You're not going to thank the people of LA because you don't care about them.
Right.
And, it's funny because the obviously as a newly reminted Rams fan, following everything that they're posting all the time, whether it's on Snapchat or Facebook or whatever. And, they're Orlando Pace played for them, and so did Kevin Green for the Rams. And so they've been celebrating some of these guys. But, I saw them do a lot for Kevin Green because he did play in L.A. I didn't see as much of them kind of promoting Orlando Pace.
Right.
And, they did a little bit. They put him out there, but he never played in L.A. He has no connection to the L.A. Rams fans unless you stayed with the team when they went to St. Louis. So it was kind of a weird little touch and go thing with that. But
yeah, he has absolutely. I don't think. I mean, he was drafted in what? Because he was like a number 1 or number 2 pick. He played at Ohio State. He's from Sandusky, Ohio. I mean,
right.
We've known about him forever.
He made a big deal about that in the speech.
About Sandusky?
No, that he was from Ohio.
Yeah.
Or at least, Chris Berman, who did all the introductions for these things, did. He was drafted in 1997. So, yeah, St. Louis.
Yeah, so 2 years after the move. So, yeah, he has absolutely no connection to L.A. at all. I mean, look, what were they expecting him to do? He can't come up. You're right. He can't come up and go, Los Angeles. They're like, you didn't play here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably the fact that instead of saying, if he had said, like, Rams fans, thank you.
Yeah, but
to the city of St. Louis, it's kind of, they won't ever be able to take that championship away. They took your team, but they won't take your championship, sort of thing.
Well, I think some things you just gotta. I mean, I get that the NFL. I know I don't really get it at all. It's like you can't retcon history. It's just it's what happened.
Oh, they've been trying to retcon history since the Browns thing.
Well, yeah, they've been doing it forever. I mean, no one ever won a championship before Super Bowl I. But I just think that cut his YouTube speech, that's just bullshit. I mean, to me, it makes it more obvious. Like, if you just left it alone, I don't think anybody even pays any attention to it, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
All you've managed to do is draw a bunch of attention to it. Anyway, go ahead. What's next?
And then the last part, at least when it comes to the NFL, is what goes along with the Hall of Fame ceremony is, of course, on Sunday, they play a Hall of Fame game.
Most of the time.
They did not play the Hall of Fame game this year. And for a stupid reason. So I guess Tom Benson, the owner of the Saints, donated a bunch of money to the Hall of Fame over the last year or two to update the stadium. And along with the money, he donated the old Superdome field for this stadium so that they could use it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the old Superdome turf that is now being used in that stadium in Canton. And so what happened is they have the ceremony on the field the night before. So they get that off at like midnight. They paint the field early in the morning. And apparently the paint that they got wasn't drying fast enough. Got the wrong paint, I guess. So then they said, well, we're going to have to heat the field a little bit or use some, heat dryers to dry this paint quick enough so that we can play the game tonight. In there doing that, the combination of the bad paint and the rubber pellets melted together at the midfield logos and in the end zone to create this hard, slick surface that, according to the players, felt like concrete and was a big danger. So then they went out there with like paint thinner and tried to break all this stuff up. It wasn't breaking up, and they had to cancel the game.
Once paint thinner becomes an option, you should probably just call it right then.
Yeah,
the paint thinner, they did the paint thinner, and one of the trainers went over to look at the paint thinner container, and it said, dangerous if it comes in contact with the skin. Guys, we're going to get tackled on that logo. So both the trainers went back to the teams like, this is stupid. We're not doing this. Because there's too many guys can either slip or get hit too hard or, get skin chemical burns from the paint thinner.
I was flipping through the channel Sunday night and I'm like, oh, that's right, the Hall of Fame game's on. I flip over and it's like game canceled due to field conditions, and I'm looking at it, it's like a clear day, and I'm thinking there's no rain, there's no what happened, and what a dumb thing. Only in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was weird that they donated the Superdome field. That's kind of strange.
Wouldn't it seem like if you're Tom Benson, you're going to throw that kind of money around? I know a field's not cheap, but it's not millions of dollars either. Wouldn't you just buy a new one instead of recycling one? I don't know. But yeah, no game.
Yeah, so the NFL preseason opener delayed from Sunday. The NFL preseason will come back in full force on Thursday.
Well, thank God for that. We got to get that.
We got an extra
preseason action in.
We got like an extra 5 days of off season this year, Mike. So we got 5 days of off season this year. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things where like everyone all week you see all these posts like, oh, this weekend's the last weekend without football, and then everyone's like, oh, football's back. Oh wait, it's not really back quite yet. So that'll do then. And then, so ESPN's first, and this was also going to be the debut of Sean McDonough in the booth for ESPN.
Oh yeah.
So he and John Gruden filled a little time, but they didn't do any game. So their debut in the booth will be this upcoming Saturday on ESPN. The Rams' first home game back in Los Angeles. Cowboys Rams in the Coliseum.
Okay, real quick question: preseason, they can wear whatever the fuck they want, right? The uniform rules don't apply to preseason, do they?
I would think.
So we might get to see the Rams. I mean, if they work it out, they might be able to go all 4 preseason games in their throwbacks, which would be cool.
I would love that. I think it's something that you'll be thrilled with, Greg, but I think it's kind of strange. Since training camp started, all their promotional materials and the signage in the stadium is all blue and white.
Really?
There hasn't been any yellow in the marketing efforts.
My thinking of it is that they can't go to the classic colors just yet, so they're like, So they're like, we're just going to emphasize the blue and white in the current look.
That's kind of what I was thinking too. But I've also heard
that even the practice jerseys, they've been using royal blue practice jerseys rather than navy or anything like that.
But I think in the preseason,
it's clear what they're leaning towards, but.
In the preseason, you're going to see nothing but the throwbacks, at least at home for sure. And and a lot of times, maybe like the Browns always wore white during the preseason at home, so you might even get the chance to see them on the road in the blue too, which would be cool. That'll be great. But I've also heard that they're going to bring the blue and white back as an alternate when they change uniforms in, was it 2019? That it might be an alternate. I don't think they're going to go to it. I think the blue and gold is going to definitely be the primary look. No question about it.
It still kills me that they have to wait until 2019 to officially change jerseys.
Yeah.
Like, the jersey I'm going to buy when I finally get around to buying it is going to be the throwback. I'm not going to bother with the St. Louis colors.
We've been over it 1,000 times, but you got to ask the question: why can't they get a special, like an exemption from the NFL? You know, why do they? Why? I mean, what's so critical about? At least let them wear the damn things at home. Okay, if you want to, I mean, I get it's going to look stupid if they have to wear the old St. Louis road uniforms, but come on. And I don't think it would be that tough to make white jerseys to match those throwbacks at all. But why they have to stick to this is beyond me. All I can think of is that they're going to do a redesign and then they want to make all the money, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't know. But
hey, in any case, we get to say Los Angeles Rams again, and that's cool in its own right.
It kind of does feel like football season. They're doing training camp down here in Orange County. 10,000 people showed up to the first training camp. They had family day where they practiced at the Coliseum, and I think like 15,000 people showed up, and it's just it's real. We have NFL football back. The local papers are covering the Los Angeles Rams. The radio stations are talking about the Los Angeles Rams. It's exciting. It's really exciting that we have a for real NFL football franchise.
And it's the correct
game in Los Angeles on Saturday.
And it's the correct NFL franchise. It's not the wrong one. You didn't get the Vikings or the Jaguars or some other bullshit. You got the Rams. That's the way it should be.
We get the Raiders. We get the Rams.
Yeah, I mean, bring the Raiders back too if they want, but it had to be the Rams first and foremost. Simple as that. No other team works. And it's a beautiful thing.
Yep. Can't wait.
Now we can get.
Can't wait for real football.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny we talk about like there's no off season in football. It's all the time. It's all the time. But once you get like around this first week of preseason and the games start happening, I'm super excited for football.
I am too. I got to admit it. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to the Chargers smoking all of y'all. So just saying.
Okay.
Yeah. The Raiders are going to win that division, by the way. Hot take.
You know what? I don't think it's that much of a hot take, because I think I agree with you.
Because the Broncos, Mark Sanchez. Okay,
yeah, come on.
Good joke. Chargers. Okay, whatever. The Chiefs.
Chiefs are going to be tough, I think. But you know what? They just don't. Well, see, now we're going to get into basically a football show, so let's just stop there. But I'll just say the Chiefs don't have enough offense, I think. I think the Raiders are. I'm with you, so maybe it's a double hot take, but we'll see. Then again, we might be sitting here this time next year, Mike, making fun of us, going, remember when you dumbasses picked the Raiders to win the division last year? All right, anyway.
No, the Bucs will be in the playoff hunt.
Hey, They were.
That is the cheapest fucking victory that you guys could have pulled.
Doesn't matter. It still counts.
14, but they were there.
It still counts.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, in week 7, they were like 2-5 and still in the hunt.
It still counts.
No, they got to like 3-11. They were still in the hunt.
Yeah, they were still, because that was the year that Carolina won it at 7-9 or 7-8-1 or something like that.
7-9-1 or 7-8-1.
Yeah, 7-8-1. So they were technically still in it, Mike. But it's not like you haven't let everyone know that even though they were still in it, how ridiculous we sounded. So I think it all worked out in the end. We'll call it even. Anyway, is that it?
That's about it.
All right. Yep. Well, speaking of basically a football show, it'll be coming to a podcast near you in the very near future.
Yeah, I think like 3 weeks, probably.
3. What's the day? The 8th, 9th?
Yeah, 9th.
Yeah, about 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah.
I'd say 3 weeks because I think that's the week before football,
college football, and then the NFL, and then here we go again, season 4 already. Man, and speaking of, this show is about to head into its hit its 4th anniversary here.
Yeah. Well, is it 4 or is it 5? 4.
4. Right?
4. Football show is going its 3rd year.
Yes.
No, this is season 4 for basically a football show. We started basically a football show started the same season we started this, didn't it?
No, year after. We started that the 2nd year.
Well, then no. Basically, a sports show is Fuck, I don't know. They'll both be here. I know that. Anyway, follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. Go to the website and listen to all the old episodes, including Basically a Football Show, at basicallyasportshow.com. You can also catch Basically a Geek Show there and all the other crazy shit we've done over the years.
Actually, speaking of the Geek Show, I don't know if either of you have seen it. Have you seen Suicide Squad?
I was going to ask you guys at the top of the show, and I completely forgot.
All right, well, we're here now.
Let's find out about it. Yeah, real quick.
Suicide Squad. Mike?
I liked it. I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I give it a big old meh.
I've heard more of Zach's review than Mike's review. I got to be honest.
It's choppy. It's a little all over the place.
It's really choppy. It is really choppy. It's a mess. Editing wise, it's a mess.
Bad. It's not bad, but it's not good.
But I enjoyed it. I had a fun time. I thought the actress playing Harley Quinn did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Will Smith knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you there. Like, there's things to like. I like Harley Quinn was great. Will Smith as Deadshot was pretty good. But I liked. It just seems like there was a really good Harley Quinn movie waiting to burst out of this movie.
That's what I've heard about it.
I feel the Leto's Joker didn't do anything for me.
He's trying to be Heath Ledger.
That was my next question. Was it just him aping Heath Ledger? Or did he try to put his own spin on it?
I don't even think it was that. He was more of like a Godfather mobster type, and it's like Joker's like more of a mobster and like Kiss the Ring sort of thing, and he's hanging out in a nightclub, and it didn't seem like the Joker. And I know maybe it's tainted by the other version of the Joker, but he didn't seem like he was the Joker persona. And
the Joker's never a Godfather type guy. He's kind of like a weirdo who everyone's just really scared of.
Right. And I think I mean, people talked about what he looked like forever. And I don't mind the looks. The only thing that bothers me with his specific look is because they did the metal teeth, the grill thing, it makes his mouth very pouty. And so when the Joker easily smiles and, he's kind of unhinged and just kind of a little over the place. He was very kind of, I'm the Joker and I have a big pouty mouth and I'm angry and grr.
See, I think
whenever he laughed, it felt so forced. Like when Heath Ledger's Joker laughed, it happened. It was a natural form of his conversation. Whereas these laughs were very, in the script it says Joker laugh, insert here.
I think that honestly, you could keep the majority of the Joker scenes unchanged, but if Heath Ledger were playing the Joker, it would be a much better. The scenes would be much better. Of course, that's a non-factor because he's fucking dead. But
I think it's unfair to. I mean, not only to compare any comic book performance to Heath Ledger. I think it's almost unfair to compare a lot of acting performances because what he did with that Joker was just one of the greatest pieces of acting I've ever seen. Period. Yeah. I mean, comic book movie or otherwise. So it's almost
shows up in the movie a few times.
What's that?
Batman shows up a few times.
Yeah, I heard that.
Batfleck. He's in a really dumb mid-credits scene.
I heard that too.
That entirely exists to establish that Amanda Waller knows who he is, which we already knew because
Batman goes to Amanda Waller to get info on the Justice League members when he already has info on the Justice League members.
Well, speaking of Justice League,
he read Lex Luthor's email.
Right.
Speaking of Justice League, did you guys see the Comic-Con trailer for that?
Yeah.
What do you think?
No, I haven't yet.
I like the trailer.
I do too.
But again, because of all this stuff, I can't help but have, I can't help but have kind of reserved optimism.
Right. Well, I tell you, I have doubts the minute I see the DC logo because they have not done particularly well. The trailer looks good, but then again, I thought the trailer for Man of Steel looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I thought the trailer for Batman v Superman looked pretty good, and the movies didn't add up.
Well, speaking of trailers, and this will tell you a little bit all you need to know about how the vision of this movie came to be. There's a couple different versions of this movie, but we saw the completed version, which they chose as their ultimate thing. When they were making this movie, when the filming was done, Warner Brothers had 2 separate editing processes going on at the same time. The director was making his own cut of the movie, which was a little bit more somber and serious, kind of. And then
the best way I can describe it is apparently the director's version of the movie is a lot like the bar scene. Like, apparently that's like the last vestige of it. Right. They're all hanging out at the bar.
And the other cut was being developed after the Warner Brothers people, they got hit hard by Batman vs. Superman, and they were like, oh, God, what are we going to do? It's a little bit dark, and people aren't liking the dark versions of our stuff. And then the first trailer for Suicide Squad came out, and everybody loved the trailer because it was fun, it was light, they loved the music and the graphics, and it was all over the place. So they hired the company that edited the trailer, a company that edits movie trailers, chops up movies and rearranges the pieces to make them look interesting for a 2-minute trailer. They handed them the whole movie, and there was a constant battle between the trailer cut of the thing that Warner Brothers loved and the serious take, which the director loved. They ended up mishmatching them together, and so when you watch the film, it is kind of all over the place.
But that's the thing. I mean, I could put together a movie trailer. Editing a movie is a completely different animal. I don't have the first clue how to do it. And to me, that they brought in a company that makes trailers to edit their entire film, that's a bad idea, I think.
Yeah. I think part of the thing that pissed me off, too, was the trailer edited it in a way to make it look like the Joker had a bigger part in the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He really doesn't factor into it at all.
He's in flashbacks, and he ends up rescuing Harley Quinn. It's an okay movie. It's just not what it could have been. It could have been something a whole lot better, and it just wasn't there. I think part of the problem, too, and as again with all these stories that come out with the production of it, Warner Brothers has been very meddlesome with the last 2 movies. Mm-hmm. Warner Brothers had a big hand in directing things a certain way with the Batman vs. Superman stuff, in terms of thrusting the Justice League in the middle of it and all that. And of course, like I just said, with how they wanted the whole thing edited, they had a whole lot of meddling in Suicide Squad. They just need to go the hell away and let DC kind of make their movies.
Yeah.
Disney's not all up in Marvel's face about what they're doing every minute of the day.
You can't do movies by committee. It just doesn't work. Just doesn't work. All right. Anyway, are we done?
Yeah.
We are.
I think I got lost in the middle of the plugs there. But anyway, at Basically Sports, subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and YouTube, and find us on Facebook.
Yeah.
I think that's all. Mike, anything with the Geek Show coming up in the near future?
Yeah, part 2 of our 3-part Warcraft extravaganza is coming up. So we're going to be talking about the pre-Legion launch event. So that should be that'll be coming out soon in the next couple of days.
And basically a football show coming up just around the corner. And with that, we're going to call it a night. We will see you next time.
Later.
See you.